This next bottle is a bottle that I thought that I would probably never see. And I was visiting my parents and grandma. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian. This is the Whiskey Wimps. Ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to do another store haul. We're going to show you some of the stuff that we picked up at the store recently and get your comments as to whether or not you would like to see a review on the channel. Again, I know Matt is missing. I'm out of breath because it's a steep hill that I have to run up to film these episodes. And speaking of steep hills, that's where I was with Matt. We went on a Spartan race down in Southern California, and it's the second one I've done with Matt. The first one he fell behind, so it wasn't a surprise that he was behind, but then he never came across the finish line where I was waiting for him. And eventually I had to go. I couldn't get a hold of his phone. I don't know where he's at. And I know Matt's mom is a fan of the channel, so Matt's mom, if you're watching, if you could either A, let us know that Matt's okay, or B, I just want to let you know that we never found him. And hopefully somebody out there is looking for him, because I'm busy. Well, let's look at these next whiskeys, and you guys let us know if you want to sample them or if you want to join on our Patreon so that you can actually sample them. It's gonna be a tater fest. Now, Blanton's, a couple of different Blantons, and the thing is, one of these Blantons is a store pick from our very own local California Fresh Market, which is, yep, there it is right there. California Fresh Market is doing it right by people that love whiskey and getting stuff for MSRP to people that want to drink whiskey for the price that it's supposed to cost. And they're doing a great job of it, and very happy to have a store pick of Blantons. I kind of just thought that I would never get one again because of the crazy things that people are doing with Blantons these days. And Blantons isn't anything to go crazy about, but apparently for a lot of people it is. But I'm just happy to have gotten a bottle, and we're gonna continue down Taylor Road here because there's some more Buffalo Trace pickups that we got. Eagle Rare, doubled up, and store picks. Eagle Rare store picks are fantastic and usually a great value, especially when the stores are doing them right. Cypress Craft had a nice one. The one from, again, California Fresh Market. These guys are selling it for MSRP, which is just fantastic. I had to buy a bottle of bourbon cream for the one from Cypress, which is okay. I mean, because I'll probably actually use that bourbon cream in my coffee, so at least there's that. But I just really am a big fan of Eagle Rare store picks, so there they are. If you're on Patreon, maybe you can get some of this, if that's what you want. Leave a comment down below. Last one from Buffalo Trace, and also again from California Fresh Market. Can't thank you guys enough over there for doing what you do. This is something I've never had before, and I tend to stray away from E.H. Taylor because the small batch, which people go crazy for, that it seems to be overpriced all over the place. I just didn't find it to be the greatest thing or worth it, but the rye I've never had, and so I was interested. And when I got it at MSRP, I figured let's give it a try and see what it's all about. And this is one I plan to do a review on the channel. And there it is. It's a beautiful bottle of whiskey from a beautiful store here in California that's doing whiskey right. Cream of Kentucky 13. Now, I had picked up a bottle of Cream in Kentucky that was the rye, and I really wasn't that big a fan of the rye. It just had too much like hay notes to it and too much like straw taste, and it just didn't have enough of what I was looking for. But this Cream of Kentucky 13 bourbon, I think that this might have something that I'm looking for. This is some Jim Rutledge production, and we'll see what it is. If you guys want to see this get reviewed on the channel, leave a comment down below. Knob Creek Rye. Single Barrel Select, 115 proof, Cypress. Stoked. This next one here, I was able to try a pour of this last time we were in Kentucky, and this is the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye, and really good, really wonderful, and got a nice bottle of it here, and we can do a review on the channel. We can give samples to Patreon. Just excited about this bottle because the pour I had, I was very happy with, and I was glad to be able to pick up this bottle and find it here locally. And as well as this Michter's right here, another bottle I've never gotten to try, but I saw it sitting here locally for a reasonable price, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm gonna get it, because I love the Michter's 10 bourbon, and I've heard really good things about the Michter's 10 rye as well. So this next bottle is a bottle that I thought that I would probably never see. And I was visiting my parents and grandma back in my hometown, and figured I'd just pop into the local liquor store and see what they had, as I do. And there was a guy out front of the store. It was cold later at night, and he was having some trouble, and he needed a jump start. And I was driving a rental car that we couldn't figure out where the battery was, but we eventually did figure out the battery was in the trunk behind a quarter panel inside the trunk. So we got him jumped, and I felt like it was my purpose to get there so that I could help this gentleman start his car up so he could stay warm. And also, the crazy thing is this bottle was sitting on the shelf, and I just walked around, did a loop around the store, I spotted it, and I was like, whoa, there it is. And then I did a lap and was kind of looking at everything else they had. And the guy at the counter asks, you know, oh, my friend, are you looking for anything in particular? And I was like, yeah, actually that bottle right there, but it's too expensive. I can't, I've been looking for it, but I can't pay that for it. And the question he asked me is what blew my mind. He said, well, how much do you want to pay for it? I was like, oh, because I've asked enough liquor store owners at this point, or people working behind the counter at liquor stores, if they would come down on a price enough times to where I've been so jaded about it that I just don't really do it anymore. I don't ask, well, would you take this or would you take, because everybody always says no. So I'll just flat no, even if I'm asking, like, well, if I show them, like, look, this is what a fair price is for it. Like, you know, if I pay what you're asking, you're gonna be getting over on me and the rest of the world for this whiskey. And so I just kind of, again, I've gotten over asking people if they'll come down on their price. This guy asked me what I wanted to pay for it. And so I told him what I wanted to pay for it. And he said, well, what about a few bucks more than that? And I was like, sure. Russell's 13. I knew that I wanted it because I've actually gotten to try a sample, thankfully to a friend who has sent me a sample of this, and it was so incredible and so amazing. I was just like, wow, I would love to have a bottle of that someday. I know it was going to be slim chance to find one at a reasonable price, yeah, because you can find them out there, but not for prices that you want to pay. But got a bottle of Russell's 13, man. Super stoked about this. And then just last night, I got some of this Hardin's Creek James Hill. No, not James Hill. What was it? James Reserve, James Bucket, James, something about James. Hardin's Creek, Jacob's Well. And pretty cool little presentation they do here. Love the marketing and love Jim Beam. And the reason I'm super excited to have this one too is because I'd really love to do a side-by-side head-to-head review of Hardin's Creek against the Russell's 13. I think that would be an interesting review. And although this is hard to find, this is twice the price MSRP of this. I just thought it would be an interesting one, being that Jim Beam and Wild Turkey are my two favorite major producers. This would be an interesting side-by-side for me. Would it be an interesting side-by-side for you? That's the question. But thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back next week with one more store haul until we move back into our regularly scheduled programming of actually tasting whiskey and doing reviews, and maybe somebody will find Matt by then. That would be nice. But everything is better with whiskey, even when you can't find your friend.